I wanted to watch this video ever since it came out. 2 days. I hadn't watched it. I also was making my own what do you call it, tier list for current MMOs. And I recorded it and all that stuff, but I was like, you know what? Like, I kind of don't want to. I don't feel like doing it that way. I also don't want to rank it like 1 to 10 because I feel like it's not fair. Because honestly, I only care about like the top 5 MMOs, and realistically, they're all like 8 out of 10 if we just look at the MMO genre as a whole. Right, OSRS is 8 out of 10. Retail is 9 out of 10. Final Fantasy 14 is 10 out of 10. ESO is 10 out of 10. Right, Guild Wars 2 is 10 out of 10. Like Classic 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10, whatever. Right, so it's like they're all like really high up there. So I felt like there's no real reason to make the tier list that way, like 1 out of 10. Instead, I'm going to do a first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Well, technically there's 6 because again, classic World of Warcraft and World of Warcraft technically they are together, but they're also separate. So it's technically top 6. But when you say like World of Warcraft is in the top 5, you kind of mean both classic and retail. That's why like I have first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. But we'll talk about that after watching this video because I do want to see Lazy Peon's video every year or so. He makes a video that the MMO genre is in a bad shape. Unless, it's a good year, then he says MMO is in a great place, and then the next year it's MMO is in a bad place. So, let's see. MMO players, sick and tired.
As someone who's been covering the MMOrpg genre on YouTube for the past 10 years, I've noticed that in recent years, the MMO community's attitude to new announcements, upcoming games, and the genre as a whole has certainly shifted from being somewhat optimistic to more pessimistic.
To be fair, I was always pessimistic. To this day, I believe no matter what MMOrpg you're going to release, you have to wait 1 to 2 major, I don't want to call it a patch, but like major content drop. Okay? New World 1.0 was dog shit. You had to wait till the expansion, till they fixed a bunch of the shit that was problematic with New World. Now, again, I'm saying dog shit. It's still like 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 in the whole genre, right? But dog shit, I mean, like, content is lacking, right? There's like, you can see the clear, like, how like they shifted from PvP to PvE too late in the development. Like, the PvE was lacking, right? There was so many bugs with the economy, right? The balancing of how the PvP works, like literally you had like 1 or 2 guilds controlling the whole fucking world, and it's just like you might as well join one or the other. Like that kind of thing. Like they haven't figured it out yet. For what it was, for 1.0, I think it was okay. But for what we have currently in the genre available, it was dog shit. It was lackluster. Like there's like nothing new to do aside from experiencing new gameplay feel. It's kind of shit, okay? So, yeah, in that regard, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I mean when I say dog shit, okay? Overall, in the MMOrpg genre, probably a 6 or 7 out of 10. It feels good. There is shit to do. The world is kind of important. There's world PvP. Yeah, like there's a lot. But, out of the top 5, in my opinion, was like a 2 out of 10, right? If you compare it to the top 5. Let's assume the best MMOrpg that you can think of, that is 10 out of 10. And you have a list of RPGs that are similar to it. And at the bottom of it would be New World. What would you give New World in comparison inside of that list? I would give like a 2 out of 10, right? Compared to like OSRS, World of Warcraft Classic, ESO, BDO, Guild Wars 2, Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy 11. Right, I would give it like a 2. Like it's lacking content. It's just like lackluster. Anyways.
And who can blame them? I've noticed it especially in myself. A couple of years ago, whenever a new MMO was announced, I was excited to make content and dive into the details for basically every upcoming game in the genre. Nowadays, though, I'm less quick to even cover newly announced upcoming releases because deep down, I know that there's a high chance they either won't make it to a full release or they'll struggle to maintain a player base for longer than 1 year.
I also think deep down, this is the problem with getting into an MMO. You know from the get-go, this is a huge time investment, and giving it like a 2-hour early, what do you call it? First person, like, sorry, not first, oh my god, first impression review is really not fair in most MMO cases, because you don't know where the focus of the game is. Is it like the leveling? Is it the end game? Is it like something in the middle? Is it like the grouping? Like, you don't really experience a lot of the MMO in the first 2 hours. MMOs are played over like 100-ish hours, and obviously you don't want to be like, well, after you play for 100 hours, that's when it gets good. You don't want to be at that point, but it's like, but that's an MMO. Like, that is literally an MMO. Like, most cases, for most people, you need to invest the time to find out if it's actually good. Let's be real. Final Fantasy XIV, the first 100 hours were not great. I'm not gonna lie. Realm Reborn is not great. It's great after you do Endwalker and after you do Shadowbringers. It's great at that point because like you understand a lot of the things you have missed. But a Realm Reborn as a whole, right? I'm talking about like the leveling through it, right? It's kind of shit. Okay? Like, it's not good. In the grand scheme of things of Realm Reborn all the way to Endwalker, it's amazing. It's fucking great. Because like you have background knowledge of what is actually going on. Who is who, what is what, where is where. What is the history of this world? If you just drop into Final Fantasy 14, brand new player, never played, don't know anything about any other Final Fantasy, dude, Realm Reborn is fucking dog shit, okay? Like, realistically speaking.
In this video, I'm going to talk about why MMO players are growing sick and tired of the genre, as well as discuss if things will change anytime soon. But first, support the content by listening to today's sponsor, Watcher of Realms, the next-gen fantasy RPG that's redefining strategic combat on both PC and mobile. This game features over 200 heroes across 10 factions, endless PvE content, epic raid bosses, and even intense GVG.
I don't feel good skipping an ad, so I'm just gonna speed up. Also, I usually watch videos at 1.5 and I just totally forgot.
Battles. On top of that, the stunning CG, top-notch audio-visual effects, and highly detailed character designs are seconds to none. They even included user-friendly features like background auto-fights, quick startup, and custom gear enhancement tools to make it easy for new players to jump in and catch up quickly. And for their second anniversary, they're introducing a game-changing new class, the Tactician. These heroes add an entirely new layer of strategy to battles. Their ultimates let you reposition units in real time, allowing for offensive pushes, defensive blocks, or even intercepting deadly blows. This grid-based displacement mechanic truly blends offense and defense, giving you unprecedented control and tactical flexibility. We're also getting new knight heroes, Moradin and Valara, who belong to the new Tactician class.
I feel like a lot of games do not capitalize on like the most popular games, like game modes, like tower defense. Tower defense, in my opinion, is one of the most popular genres of game, especially for mobile, right? And you have a lot of these games like Summoner's War, Raid Shadow Legends. You have a bunch of these games that they have a very similar, it's like, hey, you know, like roll the dice, get this, like the gacha mechanic, roll dice, get this hero, whatever, like fit it in a combo. But they only mostly use it realistically for like the same things, like these specific levels, this tower climbing, this raid boss, this dungeon boss, whatever. Like, but how about like other stuff that you can do with it, right? Like idle leveling, like, because like a lot of these characters you have to level them up manually, realistically. Like you can put auto, but it's not like auto leveling. You have to choose the level, yada yada, right? How about like idle farming on them? How about having a tower defense mode? How about having like a PvP that is not as reliant so much on the gear you put on the characters, but more like just like the PvP having its own standard build per character, and you have to choose, like, let's say you have 10 characters, you can choose 5 of them, right? And the 10 characters are drawn by RNG completely, and you have to choose the best 5 to make a combo, and that would auto fight another player or something like that, right? Even honestly, you can make an auto battler out of it, auto chess, whatever it's called, like like the League of Legends game. Forgot the name. Legends of Runeterra. No, Legends of Runeterra is the card game. Uh, Whatever. Like the auto chess, the Dota auto battle, or stuff like that. Like, why don't you guys add content like that to your games? That it's not just a gacha game. Like, just you have the resources. This game is successful. Add more content around these things. Don't just keep adding. Oh, there's a new boss to fight. Oh, there's the new this. Oh, here's a new champion. Like, that shit honestly gets boring at some point. Like, at first it's like, oh cool, I got this new champion. But at some point it's like, bro, give me like new content to do with these characters that I have, you know?
And bring unique battle mechanics and bond skills, perfect for buffing allies, reducing enemy defenses, and knocking foes back. And it's not just new heroes. The second anniversary celebration is absolutely stacked with free rewards. Just by logging in daily and participating in events, you can earn an incredible 119 summons for free. Plus, you'll get the legendary hero Astriel, new skins, emotes, a summoning stone skin, an avatar, a legendary skill crystal, and so much more. There's also a lot of fun mini-games like Bingo and the Abyssal Derby you can participate in to earn even more rewards. It's truly the best time to dive into Watcher of Realms, so click the link in the description or scan that QR code to download Watcher of Realms for free on PC, Android, and iOS, and start your legendary journey today. So, the biggest reason why I think MMO players have a less positive attitude to the genre nowadays than, say, 10 years ago, is that in the past 8 years, not a single new MMO release has managed to break into the top 5 most played games in the genre, and...
Yeah, because you cannot... Look, even if Ashes of Creation comes out and it's the perfect MMOrpg, aside from, like, the first month, it not only... Yeah, first month, gonna have players, people are looking forward to trying it out. Same with like the Riot MMOrpg whenever that comes out. The problem is you just will not have content. People are not connected to your world yet. It's going to take fucking like 5 to 10 years before your MMOrpg would pop off. And like in those 5-10 years, you just hope that you can get a crowd that would at least not make you go into a deficit by running the game. Like, straight up, it is literally impossible to create an MMO without... And by the way, Riot MMOrpg has the best chance at this because they already have like a lore, like a world built around the MMO. So people already invested in the world. So that's good. Similar to Warcraft. Warcraft came out, people were invested in the Warcraft story. Okay. Final Fantasy 14 had some of it as well because people like played Final Fantasy. So it's like they can be like, oh, this is cool, this is cool. But the story itself, the world of Final Fantasy 14, is not related to any other world realistically, aside from using the same physics, basically. Guild Wars 2, realistically, Guild Wars 2 like went under the radar for like 5 or 6 years. It's not until like Path of Fire till it actually like started attracting a lot more people, right? Heart of Thorns was okay, but like it's Path of Fire that really did it, right? And End of Dragons was probably like the top, the peak for Guild Wars 2. That's how it is. The only reason people are playing OSRS now is because they kind of tried everything else as well. Most people who recently, like in the last 3 years, went into OSRS that haven't played it before are just tired of their own MMOrpgs.
Drink and fulfill your destiny.
Nice. I get bots to follow me now. But anyways, yes, as I was saying, it is a very long term investment when you create an MMOrpg. You are not gonna be successful in the first 2 years at least. It is when the patches come out, it's when the fixes come out, it's when the new content comes out, because like you need to compete with MMOrpgs that have 10 plus years of content. Good luck.
Stay there for longer than a few months. The top 10 most popular MMOs are WoW, OSRS, Final Fantasy XIV, Black Desert Online, Albion Online, Guild Wars 2, ESO, EVE Online, MapleStory, and RuneScape 3. Most of these MMOs are really old. Albion Online and BDO are the newest to secure spots in the top 10, with Albion releasing in 2017 and BDO releasing in Korea back in 2014. MMOs are games that take a lot of investment.
Like 10 years. 10 years for BDO to secure its place in top 10. Like and again, and I believe 2019 was also a good year for BDO, but 5 years, okay, is how long it took BDO to become more, I don't want to call it mainstream, but to be more notable. Like it would have enough players and enough people were talking about it to the point where everyone kind of knows of it. At least you know of it. Before it was like, dude, I didn't even hear about BDO till like 2018, 2017. Like, I didn't even know it existed.
So whenever a new MMO does come out these days, in the back of your mind you're thinking, there's a 99% chance that 1 to 2 years from now this game will be dead, which is a really crappy feeling to have. We've seen this with games such as Throne and Liberty, New World, Corepunk, PAX Day, Arcade Unchained, Bless Unleashed, Bless Online, Brighter Shores, and many, many more.
To be fair, most of the ones he said are dead, they killed themselves. Like, realistically speaking, I remember when, what's his name? Wow, I literally just watched this video yesterday. Kevin, the Asian guy, Korean guy, he was in the... So, Throne and Liberty hosted a meet and greet, whatever, Q&A with a bunch of, like, streamers, right? And he was representing, technically, he was a Korean that represents or talked at least about the Western audience and how the Western audience is not gonna like the way that Throne Liberty is monetized. And he was 100% right. And the devs, in my opinion, brushed it off. It's like, no, it's like this, it's like that. It's like, and I was like, no, what he says is 100% correct. The Western world really doesn't like the Western mentality really doesn't enjoy, for the most part, how Throne Liberty pays. I don't even want to call it pay to win. It's you playing the auction house more than you play the game. It is impossible to farm the items you want. You have to farm items overall. You have to trade in those items. Hopefully somebody buys them with the money currency so they can use them. So then you can use the money currency to buy the item you actually want. It is fucking retarded. I'm sorry, but it is. In a game of which the focus is PvP, okay? PvE is not the focus. PvE is a feature. The focus of the game is PvP, and it's not like there's a balanced scaling. The more power you have, the easier it is for you to PvP. So you are the incentive is to pay to win, because the focus is PvP. Like, yeah, the Western audience is not gonna like it.
I guess this is another reason why nowadays people would rather invest times into the older games in the genre rather than play the newer stuff. Odds are, WoW, Final Fantasy XIV, and OSRS will still be here 5 to 10 years from now.
Probably.
The moment I started to enjoy the genre again was when I decided to just commit to the older games and stop looking for the next big thing. If a big new MMO comes out and it's a lot of fun, then great. If not, no worries, I'll be enjoying myself with old school RuneScape regardless. Another big reason why people are sick and tired of new MMOs is that they've seemingly hit a point where they objectively haven't massively improved or innovated in the past 10 years.
Yep.
When it comes to action combat, the gold standard is still Black Desert Online, a game that took 4 to 5 years to develop.
Not gonna lie. I'm not, like, the video combat is nice. I am not a fan. I'm really not. It looks good, it feels good, but it's really repetitive. Not in a good way. Like, WoW combat is also repetitive. Guild Wars 2 combat is, like, it's also repetitive, but has combos and stuff. The problem with Guild Wars, with BDO is, like, I feel like I have my one AoE combo that I always do, and then my one single target combo that I always do. And there's no real reason to do anything else. In terms of PvE. PvP might be different. I don't know. I didn't even get past level 30. I got so bored of my class. Because all I do is dash in, throw my blades around. I think I played LAN or whatever. And, you know, and it's like, if they don't die, I just keep doing the same combo. It's like, I don't know, it's just, it felt repetitive and boring. I'm not gonna lie. It looks good, it feels good, but, like, at some point you're like, I need more than just fighting a different graphical unit, you know? It's like, oh, 10 goblins, cool. Oh, 10 orcs, cool. Oh, 10 whatever golems, oh, cool. Right? It's like, and the camps are all pretty much the same. They're kind of scattered around. So you just dash from one place, kill, dash to another place, dash to another place. I don't know, man. I feel like the way the game is designed, like, the gameplay is good, but the way that everything's designed is so too organized can I maybe that's what like I want to say. It's like too organized. It's like this region has these monsters, but they're not like walking around. They're kind of like, here's a camp, here's a camp, here's a camp, here's a camp, right? I don't know. Like it feels weird. Just like it's too controlled of an environment. Maybe I don't know.
Developed and released in 2014. No other MMO has action combat anywhere near the level of BDO.
Also, I hate that. See that? The attack and attack stop kind of thing.
Released in 2014.
Boom.
No other MMO
The attack stop
has action combat
attack stop
anywhere near.
Attack stop. Like it feels fluid enough, but I feel that little like pause, like which is fine because they're making for the impact. Kind of bothers me. I'm not gonna lie. Like you know those MMOs where it's like you slice some like an enemy and it's like he flashes in like white and like staggers. That's what BDO feels like to me, and I'm not a fan of it. It feels impactful. It feels clean, but also just feels weird. Like it doesn't feel good.
The level of BDO. For tab targeting, World of Warcraft is still the gold standard in terms of fluidity and responsiveness. Yep. We frequently get modern MMOs releasing nowadays with worse combat than what existed 10 to 20 years ago, and it's hard to wrap your head around why. It feels like we're going backwards. Games like Bitcraft, Pax Day, Quinfall.
I'm sorry, no offense, bro. You play OSRS, you play OSRS, you cannot talk about combats going backwards. None of these games, I mean, they're problematic, sure, and it's not great, but like, they did not go back compared to like OSRS. OSRS is still way far before, like, more ancient in terms of how the combat is. Like, I'm sorry, it's really hard to make a gameplay feel worse than OSRS.
Embers Adrift, Bless Unleashed, and Core Punk all have dog-tier combat that makes you question how they even released in that state. Even Korean MMOs in recent years seem to have forgotten how to design good combat. Korean devs used to be masters of creating the best action combat in the genre, but recently we've had Throne and Liberty, a game heavily criticized for being clunky as hell. To be fair, the gameplay got a bit better with a few updates, but it's still nowhere near the level of World of Warcraft.
Well, they were designing it with like a Lineage 2 in mind kind of thing, so I understand why it felt that way. But like, yeah, in many ways, because it's third person view. Even though it's third person view, a game like Lineage 2 would probably have worse combat than OSRS, because OSRS at least has like spell tracking, so it's like if somebody runs away while you're shooting, you know, like while you're meleeing, your melee will still go through. Whereas like, if I'm like playing melee and you're ranged, I would never be able to hit you as long as you're moving.
Chrono Odyssey is another one. Recently did a beta test, combat wasn't great, people weren't impressed, needs a lot of work to even be passable. And just take a look at the latest Korean slop MMO to be announced at G-Star called Architect. Clearly mobile, PC, console, cross-platform based on the user interface, every ability, heavy static animation locks, clunky movement, janky animations. You can tell just by looking at it that the gameplay is complete arse. Bellatoris.
I'm sorry, no offense, but like...
Clearly mobile...
This? Let's be real. Probably looks 100%. It looks like it would feel way better than OSRS. I mean, look at it.
PC, console, cross-platform based on the user interface.
Boom.
Every ability, heavy static animation locks, clunky movement, janky animations. You can tell...
I don't know, man. That looks better to me in terms of like gameplay feel. Way better than OSRS. I'm sorry, but it is what it is.
Oh, just by looking at it that the gameplay is complete arse. Bellatoris, another upcoming Korean MMO. Granted, it looks a bit better than Architects, but still, it really doesn't look that great, does it? The dodges especially just look atrocious. This is what I mean about upcoming MMOs seemingly not progressing or straight up going backwards compared to what was releasing a decade ago. As someone who reviews MMOs, it feels like during my pros and cons sections, it's very rare that I'll list gameplay and combat as a pro for modern MMO releases. I think Ashes of Creation is probably the only recent exception here, as that does feel like an evolution to the combat in Guild Wars 2. If you look at other gaming genres, Souls-likes, survival, turn-based RPGs, anime gacha games, ARPGs, and FPS, these genres have seen huge innovations and improvements over the past decade in ways that the MMO genre has not. The difference between games released 10 years ago for these genres compared to now is night and day. Across the board, you've got better graphics, smoother gameplay.
I do not think MMORPGs need to evolve their combat. I think MMORPGs need to evolve their content. The combat, like BDO, World of Warcraft, just fucking copy that. Guild Wars 2, copy that. You can innovate a bit, whatever. I don't think that should be the focus. pick a combat style you think is good for the game that you're trying to make. Stick with it from what is already known. Honestly, trying to be unique right now with how a gameplay feels is probably going to work against you. Honestly, okay? What you should be focused on, new content, evolving the content, how people approach the content, how accessible the content is. That's what you should be thinking about when you make an MMO right now. Combat-wise, just copy something that already works that people love. Like, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, and make it a bit like, yeah, sure, personalized a bit to your thing, but it shouldn't feel like complete fucking like a complete stranger.
More spectacle, new types of content, new progression systems, better animations, and new innovative systems.
I'm sorry, I am not a fan of this game. I haven't played it, but the idea of it is just, I'm not a fan of. I don't like turn-based. I get it. This is like, you have to like parry perfectly or like dodge perfectly, whatever. I don't know. Feels kind of boring because that kind of becomes the only way to actually play the game. So it feels like very like linear in that sense. So I just don't know. Like, people say the story is amazing, the feels amazing. I get it, and I saw some of the boss fights, but honestly, it just really doesn't look interesting.
The top 10 games in each of these respective genres has fluctuated much more than the top 10 games in the MMO genre. I actually think there's multiple reasons why the MMO genre hasn't really progressed as much as other gaming genres though. Just to name a few, you've got the rise of mobile gaming in the mid-2010s. I think this set the MMO genre back heavily. Developers saw that mobile games had the potential to make infinitely more money than PC games for a fraction of the development cost, and as a result, many of the top MMO developers shifted their focus to mobile games or mobile PC console crossplay, which inevitably results in a worse gameplay experience as you've then got to design a game to be playable with mobile screen size restrictions and limited inputs. The success of the free-to-play, pay-to-win, and pay-for-convenience business models, starting all the way back in MapleStory, has caused more and more developers to design games in a way that they'd create problems to then sell you solutions on the cash shop. I believe that the popularity of transmog systems turned out to be a bad thing for the genre as a whole, as for most games it results in a diminished sense of visual progression during leveling, as well as developers being incentivized to make the coolest outfits cash shop cosmetics, rather than earned through in-game achievement.
I agree and disagree with him on the transmog thing. I think he's right that it caused problems. I think they just didn't apply the proper fixes for it. Locking stuff behind, let's say, okay, here's a wild example, which I always use. Mythic rating cosmetics. Mythic rating as a whole in World of Warcraft should just be cosmetics, not item level. You are only able to get the cosmetics if you clear the raid on Mythic. Each boss doesn't drop shit, okay? You just have to complete the raid, kill every boss in the raid, that's the achievement, and you get the mythical appearance of that raid. By doing so, you incentivize people to actually do the mythic raid, okay? And they can't come back to the mythic raid later on to get these cosmetics. Even though that last point, you know what? I can be lenient about that last point, because either way, to do the mythic raid, you have to wait like 2 years anyways. So anyone who has the mythic appearance at that time, that would be special. Anyone who has that appearance 2 years from now, not special, right?
And finally, I believe that MMO developers have for the most part taken the wrong design path for the past 20 years. The success of World of Warcraft resulted in many games taking the theme park MMO route, where MMOs are only as big as their latest expansion or content patch. Everyone's trying to catch up and get to the end game as soon as possible, and as soon as you stop playing for a few months, your progress and accomplishments have been invalidated by the new content. Your previous best-in-slot raid gear is now equivalent to that of catch-up gear, obtainable in a few hours. The rising
vertical progression sucks ass. I'm sorry, I get it. You like the treadmill of every patch. I want to grind the best new gear, whatever. I don't know. I think you're wrong, but it's fine. Maybe I'm wrong. Horizontal progression is just far superior in everything. It allows more freedom for the developers to create content. It allows you more freedom to customize your build with no time limits. It allows you to quit the game and come back 5 years later and still be exactly at the same spot. Okay, it allows you to play at your own pace at any moment of the game. When you have more time to play, when you have less time to play, you don't feel bad about like, well, I can't play at all this month because whatever project, and I'm flying here and I'm flying there. Therefore, I'm going to be so far behind my team who is just fucking grinding out the gear. It doesn't matter at all in horizontal games.
The popularity of old-school RuneScape in the past few years has shown me that the design path MMO devs should have taken was that of the curated sandbox. Timeless design where new content only adds to the world and doesn't invalidate the previous content. In all fairness, despite everything I've said in this video, making MMOs is clearly game development on extreme hard mode. Yes. These games take years to make, they cost the most to develop, and you're competing with older games that not only have 10 to 15 years of live content development over you, but they've also got heavily invested player bases that aren't going to be so quick to jump ship to another game due to years of time investment.
Developing MMOs is literally for the sake of creating brand names. Think about it. MMOs are one of the least profitable games that you can make. They cost the most, they have the highest risk, okay? And even if they're extremely successful or like considered successful, they're probably not producing that much. You might as well make mobile games and stuff like that. However, you don't get a good rep if you just make mobile games. If you just make cash grab games. You create an MMO to give yourself a better name in the industry. That is pretty much it. And obviously, like if you're an indie developer because you love the genre, sure. I'm talking about like from a big business perspective. Like why would Blizzard keep making World of Warcraft? Realistically, they could just keep recycling Classic over and over and stop the development of retail. WoW is not one of their top earners. You know? Didn't they make more money with Call of Duty? They definitely made more money with the mobile games. Okay? Like, by far. Diablo Immortal, within, like, a couple weeks, made them, like, already, like, 10 million or some shit like that? 14 million? Like, bro, it's not even close. If I was Blizzard, like from a business standpoint, I would work on World of Warcraft mobile. Like, duh. The only reason you don't is because you want to have a good name. In my opinion, MMOs are not the most popular genre. Like not by a long shot.
Huge MMOs from big studios often get cancelled. To name a few, we've recently had the Untitled ZeniMax Online MMO get cancelled. Hytale was cancelled, even with the support of publisher Riot Games. EverQuest Next, the Marvel MMO. The Riot MMO had to restart development. Blizzard's Project Titan was initially an MMO before being reworked into Overwatch. Then we've got countless Kickstarter MMOs like Chronicles of Valeria, Camelot Unchained, Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, and far too many to even mention that either ran out of money, went through development hell, or are still in development.
Hell. Are still in development hell.
Is there any hope, though? Are we ever likely to see MMOs become as popular as they were in the early to late 2000s?
I honestly think we need a massive technological change for that to be the case. We need something like fucking Sword Art Online type shit. We need VR to be one of the, like a standard as a PC. Is there hope for the genre? Yeah. Do I have hope for the next 20 years? Not really. Like, realistically, not really. I think VR needs to be the standard. I think VR needs to be better than what it is. Ideally, work when you sleep. You know? Like, log into the game in your sleep. Okay? I don't know how your brain would rest, but fuck, man. Who cares? Just live in the Matrix. Yeah, that's, like, really the only way. If you can lay down with your VR headset, lay down and like exist in a whole other world and go on adventures and actually feel like it, that would be it. Like realistically, that would be it. Until then, honestly, no, I think we peaked for the moment. We need like a massive fucking overhaul of like our technology. Not overhaul, but like something completely new?
Honestly, I don't know. I'd always hoped that with technology improving, developers could potentially use AI to assist them with coding so that MMOs could be developed in a quicker time frame, but I'm not too sure if that's the case because I'm not a developer. At this point, I'm aware that most of you watching this video are probably in your late 20s to early 40s. We're getting old, and a lot of us just want something to relax with after work and get that good brain feeling from seeing the number.
Yeah, and again, who's the target audience for MMOs? Usually, like, us old guys, like the midlife crisis types. Okay, yeah. How many kids, like, how many 19, 20-year-olds do you really meet in MMOs? Most of them say that it's like, oh yeah, because I played with my dad when he was younger or whatever, when I was a kid, so like I have a nostalgic feeling about it. Like, that's really it, right? Why do you play OSRS? Honestly, mindlessly grind. There's no like sense of purpose with OSRS. You just do it because it's chill, it's fine. Why do you play Classic, man? Because it's old and feels like comfortable and you played it before. Like, there's no like sense of like grandeur. There's no exploration anymore. You kind of know the way. It's familiar, and you just chill, right? It's like if you die, it's not a big deal. Why? Because you're not in a rush anywhere. That's classic WoW, right? Retail is literally just like run Mythic Plus or run a BG, run an Arena, right? Like, they're all the same essentially. Like that's what you play them for. You just play them to relax. It's not as intense, right? Like, you have League of Legends, which is like a pick up and go kind of game, but again, a match is like 20 to 40 minutes, and 10 minutes of that game are actually intense. Most of it is like AFK farming, right? But you can't really relax in that game. I can't even play League of Legends and watch a YouTube video while playing it. MMOs, dude, like, that's what they're made of. They are made for you to catch up on videos while you're playing,
Go up. You can still do that with the old MMOs, OSRS, Ultima Online Outlands, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, Guild Wars 2, BDO. These are still fun games you can relax with. Yeah. OSRS in particular is aging like a fine wine, and I've personally sank over 2,000 hours into it on my Iron Man this past year alone. In Buddhism, the second noble truth is that suffering comes from desire. Gratitude is also one of the keys to happiness. So instead of constantly looking for the next big thing, perhaps it's best to accept what we have now and try to enjoy it for what it is. But that's it for this video, to be honest.
Somebody matured with his take there at the end. Enjoy what we have and don't, be happy with what you have, kind of thing. I appreciate that sentiment, but like, I don't know, I am not somebody who's satisfied easily, and that's why I'll be forever single.